All right, everybody, welcome back for another deep dive.
Yeah, hey, everyone.
Today, we are going to be taking a look at smarter grocery shopping for the Whole Foods enthusiast. And yeah, I'm talking to you, listener, because I know you're out there.
Absolutely.
And we've got this really great guide by Metabolic Medical Center, and it's called Navigate the Grocery Store to Choose Whole Foods.
That's a good one.
And it's full of tips that go way beyond reading labels.
Yes.
So we're really going to be diving deep today and figuring out how to outsmart all those tempting processed foods.
Yeah. For the listener out there, it's almost like thinking about it like a game.
I like that.
You go into the grocery store like, what's my strategy? How can I win at this?
I love that.
How can I get out of here with all the good stuff and none of the bad stuff?
Yeah, exactly. So the first tip is the classic shopping list strategy. But Metabolic Medical Center takes it a step further, right?
They do.
They recommend a detailed list based on a weekly meal plan.
Yeah. And this is huge. We think about going to the grocery store and we're like, oh, I'll just, I'll grab this and grab that.
Right.
But if you really plan it out during the week and you're like, okay, Monday we're having this, Tuesday we're having this.
Right.
Then when you go to the grocery store, you're not like, oh, what looks good today? What am I feeling like? You know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
Because I know I'm guilty of that. So this will really help us just get in and out.
Yeah, and so I do want to know, though, are there times when we can kind of deviate from the list?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
What about those times when I'm walking down the aisle and I see something that just looks really good?
Right.
Like maybe I walk down the frozen food aisle and I see those veggie burgers that I love.
Right.
Is there ever a time when it's okay to deviate?
For sure. I think the key is to be mindful about it. You know?
Okay.
Ask yourself, is this a craving or do I really need this?
Okay.
And if it's a craving, then maybe this week you just stick with what's on your list, but plan to incorporate it for next week.
Okay, so that's a good way to look at it.
Absolutely.
So now we're armed with our list and we're ready to hit the store. And the guide talks about this idea of a perimeter prowl.
Perimeter prowl.
Basically sticking to the outside edges of the grocery store where all the fresh stuff is.
Right. I mean, think about it. When you walk into a grocery store, usually the produce section is right there on your left or right.
Yes.
And then as you go around the perimeter, you hit the meat and the seafood and the dairy.
Yes.
So that's like a built-in way to prioritize whole foods.
It is. I never thought about it that way.
Yeah, it's great.
Okay, so we're cruising the perimeter. We've got our basket full of all the good stuff.
Right.
But we still need to be savvy, right?
Yeah, we do.
Because the guide warns about what they call health halos.
Health halos.
So these are like those products that look really healthy.
Totally.
On the packaging, might not actually be that good for you.
Right. I mean, who hasn't fallen for that? The packaging is green. It's got pictures of leaves on it. You think it's healthy, but it's all about the ingredient list.
Yes.
The ingredient list is going to tell you the truth.
It is, and I love that they have a pro tip in here, and they say, look for ingredients with less than 5 items.
Absolutely.
And make sure you can pronounce all of them.
Yeah. If you're like, what is this word?
Right.
Maybe just put it back on the shelf.
Exactly. Okay, so moving on. I feel like this next piece of advice is so relatable to everyone.
I think so too.
Don't shop hungry.
Don't do it.
Oh my gosh.
That's the worst.
I'm so guilty of this.
Me too.
I go to the store hungry and I come out with like
the whole store.
The entire store.
Yes. And then you get home and you're like, why did I buy all this stuff?
I know.
Like, I'm not even going to eat all this.
Exactly.
It's because when you're hungry, your brain releases ghrelin. And that's like the hunger hormone.
Oh.
And it can actually impair your decision-making abilities.
Wow. I did not know that.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like your brain is literally saying, feed me sugar now.
So basically a pre-shopping snack is a must.
I think so. A little protein bar, some nuts or something just to kind of tide you over.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
So you don't buy the whole store.
Okay. And this next tip is a little unexpected.
Okay, I'm interested.
The guide recommends ditching the cart and opting for a basket instead.
Oh, no.
A basket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
What do you think about that?
I mean, it makes sense when you think about it.
Yeah.
If you have a huge cart, you're going to fill it up with stuff.
Right.
But if you only have a little basket, you can only fit so much in there.
Right.
So you're going to be more selective about what you buy.
Yeah, I like that.
So you're forced to prioritize what you really need.
It's like limiting your options so you don't get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got our basket. We're navigating the aisles like pros.
We've got this.
We're sticking to the perimeter.
Right.
But there's one more important tip that the guide mentions.
Okay, what is it?
Show some love to local farmers and producers.
Yes.
What do you think about that?
I love that tip. Fresh seasonal produce. it's not only tastier, but it's also more nutrient rich.
Okay.
And, there's just something really satisfying about knowing where your food came from and supporting your local community.
Right. And it kind of brings us back to that idea of intentionality.
Absolutely.
Like, why are we putting in all this effort?
Yeah. Why are we doing this?
To choose whole foods. What are our goals?
Yeah. Are we trying to improve our energy, better digestion, reduce our risk of certain diseases?
Exactly.
I mean, there's so many reasons why we might choose to eat whole foods. And I think by connecting each grocery trip to our long-term health and well-being, we're turning it into an act of self-care.
I love that. And, it's like each healthy choice is a small victory.
Absolutely.
So as you head into your next shopping trip, I challenge you to pick one or two of these tips and just really observe how they impact your experience.
Yeah. Do you feel more in control?
Yeah.
Are you more confident in your choices? And pay attention to how those choices make you feel.
Yes.
Does eating more whole foods make you feel lighter?
Yeah.
More energized? Or simply more satisfied with your meals?
Yeah, that's such a good point. It's not just about what we buy. It's about how those choices impact our overall well-being.
For sure.
And so remember, every healthy choice is a win.
It is.
And it's worth celebrating.
Celebrate those wins.
All right, everyone. That's it for this deep dive. We'll see you next time.